England, such a prolific team at the World Championships over so many years. Amazingly coming into this a second favourite in some people's books against a very spirited Malta team, twice finalists in the 2 showings of this event, and have come so close to winning it. Eddie Barker leads off for England, and his opponent from Malta, Gary Carr. And Tony, as you look at this England team, it's very hard to believe that they're not starting this as favourites, but somehow the Maltese just seem to have this format under control.
Well, I tend to agree with what Jordan Shepherd said. Maltese, they're not bothered about England. They're not bothered about who they're playing. They're man for man. They're probably, them and France are the 2 noisiest teams left in it. Yes, we've got other half of the draw, Northern Ireland are there, of course, who've won it twice in a row, and they really do have a star-studded team. But Malta, I agree with Jordan. I think Malta are going to beat England here. I just think they've got the vocal and the passion behind them. I think England have had a stuttering week, I think, the way they've played. You know, they've got through to the quarterfinals, yes, but I just don't think they're firing all cylinders. I think they're not as noisy, and I think the noise will take Malta over the line.
Such a great format. The shootout's always so much fun, but then you add the team dimension to it as well. Added pressure of playing for your teammates, playing for your country, and playing in front of so many people watching. Dry break from Eddie Barker, and Malta in first, but he is now back to the table. Would love to have seen that cue ball fall into the corner pocket. Playing with ball in hand here would have been so much easier. As it is, he's playing from a pretty awkward spot. And he tries to play a kind of containing shot, get that red a bit isolated from the other balls. This isn't really a format where we're expecting to see a whole lot of safety play, but obviously sometimes that's going to be what the balls dictate.
A lot of this match is clock dependent. So if the team's like 2 or 3 down and you see the clock winding down a bit, you see them up the pace and they do start, as Jordan said, running around like headless chickens.
Playing with a 30-second shot clock for the first portion of the match, and then the last 10 minutes dropping down to a 15-second shot clock. Chance this for Gary Carr, but obviously got the red on the left hand side of the table. Can get to it, that yellow isn't quite covering it, but he's going to have to play a precise positional shot.
As long as when he pots this red into the centre, he can push the cue ball through. It'll rub off that yellow. It all depends how far he bumps the red up that's to the right of that, how far up the table, because he needs to pot that and get on the other red that's in the centre of the table. And also he wants the angle so he can screw across and play the black, or sorry, the red up the rail and then the black down the bottom.
The other thing about this format, the reason there's so much pressure, is that the individual players only get 1 or 2 frames, so their moment in the limelight is pretty limited, and they feel pressure to do well.
That's not gone well for Gary Carr.
Couldn't avoid that cannon, not the contact he was looking for at all. Ideally he would have just brushed off and left it somewhere in the middle of the table.
The thing with the England side, and what stands them in good stead, even though I still think Malta will snatch this. Oh my word, what a shot that is. He's snooking himself. He said they're a team that's full of professionals, pretty much. Eddie Barker, Ultimate Pool Pro. Got Luke Gilbert, outstanding player, won a pro event this year. Carl Sutton, as they call him, Mr. England, always steps up to the plate when it's international time. But I'm going with the passion and the noise from Malta. However, this wasn't in the script.
He's come with one great shot already to get out of this trouble. He's going to have to come up with a better one. So, first good chance for England. Although, at first glance, he's been a bit fortunate there, because I don't think he's left an easy starting ball. If Eddie can just get through to the ball to the top right corner.
Strange things happen out here in this one frame format. The other night, even some of the world's top players were, with the clock coming down, were starting to miss balls that they'd never miss in a long drawn-out match. Don't forget, you've got all your hopes and dreams of your teammates as well, sat there, sort of with their eyes burning into the back of your head. You just don't want to let your teammates down.
No pot available for Eddie, but easy snooker. Yellow's all over the table. The problem here is not hitting the red, it's hitting the red and not leaving a yellow, because there's so many yellows spread around the table. Not hitting a red was also a problem, so ball in hand for England. And this is a glorious chance for Eddie Barker. Eddie is one of the most experienced players in the team. He's been a top-line professional for a long time. It's only the pressure of this situation that could possibly stop him making this clearance. The most difficult ball on the table is going to be the 8 ball, so just needs to pick which ball he wants to use to get back for that. The rest of the yellows you can take in pretty much any order. You can put your team in whatever order you think best. Captain Lee Kendall is obviously thinking that Ed is the man for the job to lead out here. Been in good form throughout the week. Just taking his time. At this point, less time pressure.
There is the man, Lee Kendall, the England skipper, and ever present for, well, I'm going to say for 30 odd years. Must be. Doesn't look a day over 32.
It's been an absolute stalwart, both of the England team and of this championships. Been here since the start. 1993, back in Manchester when the World Championships started. This is only the 3rd year of the World Team Shootout, but the wider World Championships is a well-established fixture now. He's been England captain for over 25 of those years.
He's been quite assured from Eddie Barker. Batman is his nickname.
This isn't bad, but he's just slightly off angle with this yellow, so he may not be able to get quite as close to the 8 ball as he would have liked. So now he's leaving this in a position where this ball is missable. You still fancy him to get it, but this is a pressure shot. These tables play fairly generously down the rail as long as you play the shot pocket weight, but you don't want to be too tentative with a shot like this.
Oh my word. Well, that's tightened up a bit. I thought that was in, even though it did sort of catch the jaw. I think the pace has just stopped it. And Gary Carr from Malta is going to put his team 1 in front after the missed black from England.
Eddie Barker's going to be furious with himself. That was a glorious chance. Those yellows were spread wide around the table. The only ball that he could ever have missed in that clearance was the 8 ball. Just didn't get quite as close to it. As you see from that replay, he did push it into the cushion. On a different day with a bit less pace, maybe that would have dropped, but in truth he had missed that ball. His teammates look on. Tom Cooney and Luke Gilbert on the left, Scott Pope, Mike King. They know it's going to be their turn out in this arena soon. They'll all sympathise with Eddie. The pressure of being out in this arena is something that's very hard to simulate until you've done it.
There's Mr. England, Carl Sutton. But he's got a big task ahead of him. His opponent, one of Malta's top players. Here he goes. Quite a different man to what he used to look like.
Yeah, Dan Greco, European champion already, still very young. Ultimate Pool Pro as well.
Yeah, incredible transformation. Lost an incredible amount of weight.
He's a very natural player, very much like the whole Maltese team. They all have this fast, fluent style, but Dale really leads from the front. See how quickly he's getting about this.
It's been told it's 15 stone Dayan's lost. tell you what he hasn't lost is his playing ability. Mind you, he's made itself a bit tricky from here.
Yeah, yellow is playing very big for these three reds in the top left-hand corner of the table. Has to find a way of opening that pocket up. It's not somebody that tends to get involved in much of a safety game. It's largely about the all-out attack.
That's a great shot there. One to the cue ball, another couple of inches. He's got the wrong angle, and you see the disappointment in Deon's face. He's going to have to come around and screw left-hand side into the bottom rail, into the side rail, back up into the area where that yellow is that's over the left-hand bag.
I think from his reaction, he's not sure if he can get there, so he's looking at playing the plant instead.
I think I would have been coming in with all the gear onto the bottom rail, go round. The trouble even with this plant is you don't know where the second red's going. Will it come off that rail and into the cushion, nudging the yellow? That'd be nice.
He has to play position with the cue ball as well. Basically, he doesn't know where the second red's going. He's trying to get the cue ball back into play in the middle of the table.
It's not for the legs, is it? Well,
come on, Carl.
It was a good effort, but he was always chasing that. So first look at one of the most consistent players England have ever seen, Carl Sutton, multiple World Team Champion with England, runner-up in World Championships in his own right. Not just a good player, but also a very good player under pressure. Make no mistake, he's under pressure here because he should have won that first frame. It's not as intended. He was trying to drop around the back of that yellow for the opposite centre.
It's not a good shot by Carl there. He's got to play that ball into the centre. Cue ball's going to be sailing towards that red on the left of the table. I mean, you could, if you want to, play the double, but that's obviously got its own risks, but has a better reward. Well, he's got away with one there, has he? He's left a very thin plant for Deon.
It was a pressured position that Carl was in because any miss was likely to leave a pot. He was actually pretty lucky not to leave one. Deon playing the sensible percentage shot though, and now Carl's in a whole lot of trouble because with that red hanging over the top right hand corner, where do you find a safe spot on this table?
Yeah, he's played a sensible shot. Originally when I looked at it, I thought Deon would just play that plant and shove the cue ball up and down the table, but it was obviously closer than it looked to the red, and obviously this is a better shot as long as Carl Sutton doesn't pot a yellow out of the snooker. I'll tell you what, he's got second prize, he's blocked off the black.
Quality shot from Carl Sutton under the utmost of pressure.
Well, Deon has to go as well, so he's going to have to pot the red over the bag, leave an angle to come down, and then I would imagine try and play the double back into the bottom right hand corner with a black ball, but he's got to get good position. I'd have rather been shorter than too far on that one. Should take a lot of cue power to get down there.
Yeah, if he'd have had the cue ball near the baulk cushion, he could have just screwed down the left hand side of the table, but now he's going to have to power this in. Well, just got that.
Yeah, but I think, I'll tell you what, if you try and play the double, the cue ball could get in the way. You can't pinch it and with enough side to play it a straight double and hold the cue ball. So it's like a cross double. I don't think he can make it.
He's going to have to hit this hard if he's going to make it. He needs to straighten this up, and straighten it up he has. What an incredible shot from Deon Grech.
I'd have had money on, well, I'd have lost money. I'd have had money on that nut going. I did not think he could have the angle and play it with enough side. Just look at the pace he's hit it with. That's an incredible shot.
He had to hit it with that pace. That wasn't showboating. He needed to straighten that ball up to get the cue ball out of the way. What a great shot from Deon Grech.
Yeah, I just thought if he could straighten it up, the cue ball would be too far down the table. It would be in the way. So what do I know?
For the second frame in a row, an experienced England player has come to the table with the balls at their mercy Has fallen short of the clearance that time. On the second ball, just didn't get good position.
Now we've got Dom Cooney for England. Man from Cambridgeshire. Also on the side is his best buddy Luke Gilbert.
Go on, Looney. Go on, Looney, please.
And I know it's only 3 frames, well, we're on the 3rd frame, but the warning lights are on at the moment for England. And a dry break. And just look at the reaction there from Cooney. Wasn't the greatest split in the world. Sort of came off the side of the front ball. Ryan Pisani, one of the mainstays on the Maltese side and also an ultimate pool professional. He's had a mixed week. He's had a couple of good games and then he's had a couple of really bad ones. It's been up and down quite a bit. A very, very capable player all the same.
Player with experience of this arena as well. He's had some good results and ultimate pool events played to a similar format. It's quite something playing with this shot clock. It may not sound much, and 30 seconds at the beginning of the match is kind of okay, but once you get down to the 15-second shot clock portion, it changes the game on its head. It's a very tough format to play with. You'll see some unexpected misses, I have no doubt, if we get down to that shorter shot clock. Ryan, just a quizzical look at the table. He's not quite got this route right yet. He's got 3 open balls in the lower half of the table, but the 2 at the top he's still got to find a route towards. Well, he's potted a great ball and to absolutely no avail. He's looking to play the cannon there and it's just gone around the back.
Yeah, good effort there from Pisani. He can still do it, but he's starting to run out of options. He's going to play the red now below the black, bring the cue ball back, and he'll be going into the middle bag with his next shot. But if he needs, what he needs to do is leave an angle on the ball in the middle and make his 3rd attempt to move this red. I don't understand that shot. I thought he would have stopped the white dead, or even trying to get it to the other side where he could just come off, pot the one in the middle and come off the side rail, bottom rail and try and keep that yellow away from the red, but he's obviously got other ideas.
Feels like a clearance more and hope than expectation at the moment. He seems to be putting himself into trouble. Had to bail out of the clearance but didn't really make much of a job of it.
I don't really see how he can pot a few balls and then try and play safe against Dom Cooney, who's got a full set of yellows there to go at. Not only that, Cooney's one of the best players in the country.
Former World Championship finalist. Last time we were in Blackpool 5 years ago. Ultimate Pool Pro Series winner as well.
Dom's just had a go to try and move those 2 balls. Can he screw straight back into the red and yellow now? If he can push that yellow below the red, he's got a finish on, and England do really need this frame. Once you start getting 3s and 4s behind, I know there's plenty of time left on the clock, but really, you've got to stay within sight of Malta. So that's 2 goes each trying to move those 2 balls apart. None successful.
Bit tentative that one. He hit the right line, but he was never really going to get anywhere with that pace. A very important frame. If England can get it back to 2-1, given the start they've had, I think they'll be quite relieved and can go on from there. But as you say, 3-0 down is going to be a tough ask. Tom giving this plenty of thought. He's called for his extension. Each player has 1 15-second extension per frame. He's got a couple of other balls he can use. That's the advantage of having more yellows left on the table. Still not got quite the right angle.
It's a very similar scenario coming from Pisani's visit, where now Dom's potting his balls and there's two still lodged together at the top. You get in a position where you think, well, do you know what, I'd rather be on reds because at least the red ball's in front of the yellow.
This is the kind of thing that happens in a shootout that wouldn't happen in a longer format singles match. You feel obliged to go for things, and sometimes it's not the right option. Dom has wisely bailed out before it's too late. Very important for Ryan to hit a red here. Ball in hand would be massive from this situation. Just got to make sure you don't give the foul away. Mind you've got to make contact with your ball and then with a cushion afterwards, which he has done. But has he opened the yellow up?
Yes, can the yellow slide past the red? It might go into the left-hand jaw and just dribble in. I don't think he wants to hit it at pace. But by the quickness in his step, I think he fancies it, does Dom Cooney.
If this yellow goes, this is a glorious chance.
Yes, it does. This yellow into this corner. Both yellows go into that middle bag, and the black in the bottom left. So this is just roll the balls in now for Dom Cooney, and England will have their first frame on the board, hanging on to Malta's coattails.
This is going to be a moment of real relief for England. I'm sure they're going to celebrate, but it's going to be happiness just that they've stayed in this match. They could so easily have won all three of the first frames. They let the first two slip, but no mistake that time from Dom Cooney. He opens England the count. Malta now leads by 2 frames to 1. And now I think we've got ourselves a match. It could have easily become one-sided if it had gone 3-0. But with England on the scoreboard, a chance to press on from here.
What you do see with England is a more reserved approach to winning their frames than other teams.
Which I understand, and that has served them well. They've won the World Team title 20 times, so you can't complain about the way they've played, but the emotion that the Maltese are playing with and some of the other teams in this shootout are playing seems to just suit this format.
I'll tell you what, France, they were rapturous when they beat India. I don't think I've heard as much noise in that arena. And they'll be up next as well. Against Mauritius.
So Malta to break in frame 4.
That is a nice split.
Decent break. This has been good from Claudio Pissarro up until that point, but hanging that red isn't going to do him any favours. So first look at Luke Gilbert, under 23 world champion, under 23 world team champion. Now 1 year too old to be in that competition. He's forced his way straight into the main England team. One of the best young players England's produced in a long time. Very exciting prospect. Chance he probably wasn't expecting to get a moment ago, but a difficult chance given the 2 reds hanging over the pockets on the right hand side of the table. Well, there's a joke about Luke and Dom Cooney being part of Team Bless because they have good rub of the green sometimes. That's a cannon that's turned out surprisingly well. Around the houses, but then ultimately ended up knocking the ball in a pretty useful spot.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do down the bottom. There's Dom Cooney, the other half of that team. His doubles partner as well. What's he done with the cue boys? He's gone to play the loss of turn. Felt that was his only option, but he certainly didn't want to put the white in.
You could see what he was thinking. He knew he needed to get that white safe. He was trying to run it through and just leave it in the jaws of that corner pocket. And had it stayed on the table, he would have been in a great spot. But ball in hand. What a great result. Claudio Casar races to the table with a good chance. The fact that that yellow has gone over the top right-hand corner pocket is the only thing that creates any difficulty. You would imagine he's going to want to leave the ball over the right centre. That's the best way of linking up to the 8 ball. Played that well, just had to sneak past that yellow. So just coming round, just wants to leave himself just low on the red to the right centre so he can drift the cue ball up the right hand side of the table for short position on the 8 ball.
That's pretty perfect. Just drops this in now, sends the cue ball up towards that yellow. It's at the top of the table. Should leave him a nice black in the corner, but has he gone too far? That's nasty. He did not want to be cueing over this yellow.
Very careless. Anywhere short of that would have been fine.
He had to be short. Well, is there another twist? And will Luke Gilbert get let off?
Well, he's had to take it in the middle pocket. What a great difficult pop, but what a great shot he's pulled out there. We've seen 2 great 8 balls from Malta, the double from Dayan Grech, and now Claudio Casar cuts the 8 ball in the centre. What a fantastic shot.
There's Lee Kendall and Carl Sutton. A little bit of concern. Yeah, tremendous black there. Casar. Game on. And here comes Shane Thompson for England. The safe cracker.
Number 1 player on the professional tour a couple of seasons back. Hasn't been in quite that form of late. He's been turning his attention to Chinese 8 ball pool. He's been doing a lot of travelling lately, but still one of the best players in the world.
He comes from the south of England. There's Somerset. Or North Somerset. Never quite know because they keep changing the borders down there.
Normally has a very powerful break, very smooth cueist. He's done the important thing, he's made a ball.
Ooh, just look at the yellow at the bottom left. It came, tucked itself in behind that red just to make things a little more difficult.
Last ball moving has not done him any favours at all.
No, his eyes lit up for a split second. Thought he was going to have a walk in the park finish, but not now. But yeah, Shane, one of England's real top players.
He's going to need to be here because having got themselves back into this match, England has slipped 2 frames behind again. The England team look on, as you're saying, not a lot of emotion. It's a very sort of professional team, which is why they've had a lot of success, but I'm not seeing the excitement that you see from some other teams, as we see a surprising miss from Shane Thompson.
And this is why I tip Malta, just purely because of that. If you look at all the other teams that's left in the tournament, there's incredible spirit, you know, and noise behind them. You know, they're trying to cheer their fella on. And that is a very nice shot there. Develops those reds in that little group in the corner, and also put Shane in a nasty little snooker. So we look at Diane Grech. Also played that amazing double black earlier. I didn't think he could manufacture, but he did.
We've seen a fantastic standard of shot making already from the Maltese players.
Yes, ready?
I'm wondering now if the attacking way that Malta like to play, will he have a go at these? I know there's red stuck down at the bottom. I wonder if he's just having a little look now to see what red he could get an angle on to maybe send the cue ball down a manoeuvre. He's just seeing now. Just used his extension. Wants to make sure he's worked it out properly. He's going to wait. He's going to wait. Problem is, I won't wait too long, because it's easier for Shane Thompson to get his yellows into position, because he's got a couple of balls down there to use to break that ball out. There's always that danger mark. If you wait too long against a top player, you end up paying the price.
Shane Thompson's a very experienced player, and he's also a very good player under pressure. But that has not been the best start to this match. He's got a double kiss that he didn't want there.
But he has an angle here now. I mean, it's low percentage, but he does have an angle red into the top left-hand corner. He can screw the cue ball down into the side rail and kick those balls apart. So if he's digging down here, we know he's going for it. There he goes. He's made it worse.
That was a tough ask, but he's pulled out a brilliant pot to get into that.
Whatever happened to fortune favours the brave?
Yeah, he got into it so well. The cue ball was still fizzing with spin, which had turned into top spin at that point, and just kind of pushed the red the wrong direction. So, does he continue with this?
Well, I think it's like a game of poker now. He's all in. You know, he's completely committed to this finish. There's nowhere where he can play any safety.
But red's in a really awkward spot, because unless you come into it from the right-hand side, you're unlikely to knock it towards the pocket. But how do you get over there?
Well, I think he rolls this into the middle and leaves an angle on the red into the top corner. He doesn't want the cue ball stuck to the black. This is his only chance, is to try and...
Oh, this is a big shot. He's going to have to play it off two cushions, off the left and right-hand side cushions. It's really hard to judge this, because whatever spin you put on is probably not going to take off the first cushion. So then you've got to judge the slide off one cushion, how the spin takes effect off the second cushion.
If he gets this, this will be the biggest shot of this match so far.
Well, he was planning to hit it off the right-hand side cushion, almost came 3 times across the table, but it was a low percentage shot in truth. She wasn't a million miles away from catching it off the third cushion. He feels he can just sneak through here.
He could. I'll tell you what, if that cue ball hadn't stopped it, that red was on its way to the middle, I think.
Yeah, if the second yellow had dropped in, it would have given Shane something to think about. But as it is, he's now got a simple starter.
It was. I'll tell you now, that red was up. If the cue ball hadn't stopped that red was in the left-hand middle.
Wow, early moments of drama in this match. And now Shane Thompson's just got to put that out of his mind. This is a routine finish for a player of his calibre.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect Shane Thompson to miss from here. And again, it's England hanging on to Malta's coattails.
Right now, Malta are bringing all the drama to this match. England seem to be left these counter clearances, which normally they're so good at. They're going to be disappointed if they're 3-2 down, but 3-2 is better than the alternative, so they'll be pretty relieved.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. England have set off with their big five, their top 5 players. Malta have not put out the world champion yet. He's still sat there waiting to play. And that friend could be pivotal. I know it's early. But you've got Clayton Castaldi still to play.
So much depth in the England team. Aaron Davis steps up next. Top 16 ranked pro.
Yeah, the big 6. So they've let out the strongest 6 have all come out. And here he is. Clayton Castaldi.
The world champion 12 months ago in Morocco. He's back here this year to defend his title. Right now, what he's focused on is getting his team through to another team shootout final if he can. They've reached the final in the last 2 years. 2 more matches required to get to that point. This is the quarter-final stages. So Clayton Castaldi of Malta breaks off in frame 6.
2 balls made. Well, trying to look around the table to see where's his easiest first pot is. It's a funny one. I think you take up. For me, you've got to choose yellows for a start. One, it's the easiest first pot, but you've only got. Now, do you have to move that one in the left-hand centre? That's where if there is a problem, I think you can put it clean. You know, if you can, then yellows are there.
Yeah, it's tight. If you're in the right position, you may just be able to roll it in, which
you notice he walked round and had a little look at that mark, didn't he? Let's have another look. I think he can squeeze that in. I do. He's looking at. You have to be very precise where you are, but even if you sit to the right of it, you can use the spin on the cue ball. If you play it with side, just to rub it in, and obviously the black will go in the middle. I think he'll leave it last. Well, yeah, I do. So he plays his red up here, cue ball into this other red that's yellow at the top. Cue ball rolls into the red here, just the whole position, like that. This into the middle, yellow down the bottom. He wants to screw the cue ball. I'll tell you where he wants to sit. Is right on the break spot where the front ball goes. If he sits there, then he's having a cue there. He can put right hand spin, rub into that yellow, and the spin on the cue ball will push that yellow into that pocket, and it will also rub the red away, and they'll have the black in the middle.
He was a surprise winner of the world title last year, but how well did he play?
Well, he's going to go now.
And this is inch perfect.
I don't blame him. Before you look at it, you think if you play the one that's down on the bottom first, because of the speed of the table, you might not get there. And he's probably thought, do you know what? I can get there now. I trust myself to pot that last yellow and get to the middle of the table. So this. Yeah, that's great.
That previous shot was a great one because he landed in such good position. He didn't have to play with a load of spin there. He could just get through to the perfect potting angle.
Smiles on the Maltese faces. I'll tell you, still to come out for Malta as well. Owen Amato, who was absolutely brilliant against Chris Mellin, unlucky to lose. Another big player.
Yeah, Owen Amato's had a funny tournament. He's had 2 great singles performances. He struggled a bit in the team events, but he's going to leave Blackpool with some great memories already. He's still got this tournament to go.
This is no gimme. He was a bit tentative there, Castaldi. He didn't want to sail too close to those reds on the left in case he's sneaking himself, but he's pulled it short. It looks like he's refusing to take it in the top corner. He's going for the thin cut into the middle.
Maybe a slightly bigger pocket because of that red. Well, he needs the red, but the 8 ball is down. Loud cheers from the Maltese team. Played with such passion. You can see what it means to all of them. The world champion turns up and brings a world championship performance just when he needs it. It's just been very entertaining stuff from the Maltese.
Absolutely.
The England team don't look like they're enjoying the entertainment right now. Manager Steve Mills on the right-hand side looks a bit disgusted with what he's seeing. Aaron Davis takes his seat, having had no chance to do anything. Well, another well-known player for England, Giuseppe D'Imperio. It's been a stalwart of these World Championships for a good few years now. Doesn't play as much in between, hasn't been playing so much on the pro circuit, but every year he turns up for the World Championships, and every year he seems to play some big frames. It's Giuseppe to break in frame 7. Goes for the cut break. Not many friends though. So Malta straight back into play. Clock just being paused momentarily to correct an issue with the scoreboard. Gives Giuseppe a moment to look on at the table, but he's going to be disappointed there because he's split those balls up, and now he's watching his opponent have first go at clearing them up. It's just not gone the way that England would have liked it to have done so far. I think they're going to be particularly disappointed because they've had good chances for counter clearances from relatively straightforward positions. Quite regularly talking commentary about the importance of getting counter clearances from sort of easy-ish positions. A lot's made of people who come out with big breaking clearances. Sometimes it's just that ability to make absolutely sure of the easier finishes. Referee just having a look at that first shot from Wayne Pace just to check that there hadn't been a foul, but everyone's happy that there wasn't one.
Just had a little VAR check if you like. But play will continue now with the man from Malta, and he is on reds.
This is a good chance. These balls are quite nicely spaced out. Doesn't need to play any cannons. This will be one of the simpler finishes. We've seen the Maltese players chase after some quite extravagant shots already in this match. In an ideal world, he's just going to keep this very simple.
I think it's the way that they're brought up how to play in Malta. They're quite gung-ho. They like to go for all their shots.
Yeah, it seems in keeping with the team spirit, doesn't it? It's a very lively team spirit, whereas the England side looks much more professional, but sort of more reserved approach to the game.
Well, I think when it's in this sort of quick fire scenario, I think it suits to go for your shots and not care too much. Obviously, you don't want to be just playing fouls and giving the ball away all the time, but I just think this format suits Malta more than it does England. I think if you play them in a match and they play like 30 frames, England win.
And what a beautifully played shot there. He's left himself a choice of these two reds. Prime position.
Well, hear a bit of noise now from Malta if he can stretch the lead to 3. Be a bit mindful of the clock now. We're going into the last 40 minutes. When it goes down to 10, we go to 15 seconds of shot.
Great clearance. Malta go ahead now by 3 frames. Dry break from Giuseppe D'Imperio. Gratefully accepted.
Of course, don't forget you've got the golden breaks in play, but also the golden ducks.
the 8 ball goes down off the break, you win the frame, unless you also pot the cue ball, in which case you lose it. Well, the England team, sort of combination of nerves, pensive looks. Feels like they need to G themselves up, get something going out there. That's the first set of 7 players out. Now the teams will be nominating their second set of 7 players. They can change the order if they want to. Mark Goff does the honours, gets the balls racked up. It's very important to get the balls all touching. The clock is paused while this is all happening, so this doesn't affect the time. 50 minutes of play in this match. It is a race to 8, so Malta not so far away from that winning post now.
They kind of think that they'd probably have to win the next 3 in a row, or at least 3 out of the next 4 if we get that many frames on the ball to get to that bit. But, and there's the French looking on. They'll be up next. And they are noisy. And there's the trophy that they're playing for, the World Team Shootout. France are ready, they're excited. I mean, how noisy were they against India? It was, they took the roof off.
Of course. See, I love these team matches, all the supporters, all the shouting. You see all the shouting if Malta carry on winning the frames at the rate they currently are, because they've got a lot to celebrate. Enjoying a slight break in proceedings. So, change to the order. It's Shane Thompson out for the first frame of the second set.
One of the big guns returns.
Didn't have the best first frame, but he was one of the successful England players. Needed a couple of chances, but got the job done in the end.
See, if you're Malta now, you save a couple of the big hitters for maybe the next frame and the frame after.
Good strength and depth on both sides. I'm not really seeing any weak links, even once we get down to number 7 on the batting order.
Don't forget, there is a tactical decision to be made with a 6-red shootout should it arise, because you get your nominated player, but also the next player that was going to come onto the table. So you've got to try and, if you thought you might go to 6-red, you want to lay out your team. So you've got one of your faster players as well playing.
6-red shootout would come into play if the scores were level when the match clock got down to 0.
But anyway, Malta still led off with one of their top players. Very nicely controlled cue ball there by Dayan. And Gretsch now at the table. He's going to waste little time in getting stuck into these reds. He was a little quick there. I don't think he's landed great.
Yeah, he always plays a bit like this. If you watch him play, he either looks brilliant or he looks careless. It's just the nature of the speed he plays at. If you get through to the red over the centre pocket, he may be okay. In cannoning that yellow, he has at least freed up the path for the red to the top right corner, so all the balls now have a pocket.
That's exactly what he's looking at. So can he play the red into yellow and red over by the middle? He's going to play the plant. He's attempting the plant into the corner. No, he should. Wow. He's fooled us all with that.
Wow.
Played a little flick off the red and used a cue ball to knock it in.
He's a shot maker, that's for sure.
He certainly made a shot there. Wants to cut this in and get the cue ball behind the 8 ball. Doesn't want to track into it, just behind it and then up for those 3 reds. If he gets anywhere past that right hand middle into the centre of the table, the frame's up. He's played it quite short. See, now he's running into those 2 yellows. That's his problem, unless he can deep screw out of there. If he hits them,
no choice but to play that cannon.
thin cut now then.
You always think this about Dayan when you watch him play. He's just such an incredible shot maker and a brilliant cueist, but you just feel like if he could just tighten the cue ball up a bit, he could make life so much easier for himself. Always seems to be chasing around the table. Such a prolific winner though, you can hardly criticise him. He also loves the game.
That's an obscene shot to play. Big double, and he's still at the wrong angle on this red. Now does he just drop it in and play the black at the bottom corner, or does he pump this out with a lower side and try and get a bit nearer to it? He's fired up, full of adrenaline, that's for sure.
So the percentage answer is just to roll it in, but I don't think he's going to do that somehow. Well, he's got a slightly better position, I guess, in that he can get his hand on the table. He's made the shot a whole lot easier than if he'd have just rolled it in. That yellow's too far away from the pocket really to make it a big pocket. He'd have to miss by a long way for the yellow to come into play. Just going to try and play through the middle of the pocket, and the middle of the pocket he finds at pace. Great celebrations again from the Maltese guys.
Another one nearer. Well, looking a bit deflated there. The England skipper, Steve Mills there, the manager.
It just hasn't gone the way they wanted. I think it's a difficult position for them. I mean, Steve Mills and Lee Kendall have presided over a period of absolute dominance from the England team over the world title. To come into a match arguably as the second favourite is just a very unfamiliar position for them. So Carl Sutton for England. 6-2 down now.
It's just going the way that myself and Jordan Shepherd both thought. And it's purely, for me, in my opinion only, and it's because of the team spirit. I'm going to say it. England looked flat from the offset. Malta are right up for it. It's just that, you know, the whole demeanour. Malta can see the finish line, and we're about to head into 15 seconds of shot, and that's not going to suit England either.
15-second shot clock.
This could be 7-2 here. So Maltese skipper Gary Carr. This is turning into a bit of a rout.
We saw in his pre-match interview how much this means to Gary. So happy just to be here. He's going to be very happy the way his morning started. He's playing some good stuff as well. And that's where they've had the balance exactly right. There's been a lot of emotion between frames and in celebrating good shots, but when they've been at the table, they've been fully focused on the job.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, they're fired up from the start, Malta. You know, this is big for them. This is huge. They really want it, and I think, you know, they want it more. Well, rubbing England's noses in it now as well.
At times it's not worth celebrating before you pop the 8 ball, but that one was literally unmissable. Great performance there from Gary Carr. Gets his team onto the hill.
They just want it more, Mark. Simple as that.
7 frames of the 8 that they need. Look how happy they all look. Look at the energy in that team.
But it filters out to your players. I've played in all these teams. I played for Ireland for 14 years. We had a great team spirit, and it filters out into the players. You're out there, you know your buddies are there behind you shouting. If you're out there and your team's just sat there sort of looking like they're reading the paper, it doesn't really fire you up. It's, you know, yes, Malta have cleared up, but then are they going to do it consistently if the match is tighter? Are they going to, you know, you need to transfer some pressure onto the other team, and England simply haven't done it.
So frame 10, Dom Cooney for England, Claudio Cassar for Malta. It's Malta to break. Oh, finds a ball but finds the cue ball. So clutch frame this for Dom Cooney. They've got to win all of the remaining frames. The comeback has to start here, and it has to start quickly because it's a 15-second shot clock, but also there's only 8 minutes 45 remaining on the match clock.
You see, Dom can play quick. This is one of the players that you'd want in this situation.
Yeah, nice ball, nice
There he
mate.
goes.
Lovely, mate. Come on, Dom.
Maybe this is what they need to pump them up, a quick fire clearance. Just got to be careful not to knock the red in front of the yellow when he plays this.
Yes, go on.
I'll tell you what, there could be an audition at Strictly for Dom Cooney.
That was a good shot. Has he gone too far? Has he gone too far? He's going to have to double this 8 ball. Just a bit too much adrenaline there. Got into the cue ball.
Oof. Has he got it in the other middle? No.
Well, that should have been the frame that England needed to get back into this match, but Dom Cooney is overrun position onto the 8 ball and has come up short.
Well, you won't see Malta rush. They've already used the extension. We're going to see them chew the clock down. They're already 7-2 up. So they'll be using all of their 15 seconds of shot.
Just as an insurance policy, Claudio's going to expect to clear up from here, but just in case he doesn't.
I think he wants the glory. I think he thought, do you know what, I've got them all here. This wins the match anyway. Get an extra bit of time to go and have lunch. Chill out. You know you'll be in the semi-finals tonight.
Yeah, this day has planned out beautifully for them. On first, the first of the 4 quarter-finals. As you say, you can go out, enjoy the rest of the day, watch a bit of the action.
And it's a lovely sunny day out there. You can go for a nice wander. Look forward to the evening's matches.
He's played this well as well, because he's gone onto the difficult ball with a nice angle. Ease it in nicely. Just this red.
Well, this red, the black's dead over the pocket. So this is for the match for Malta, and an incredible performance.
What a
absolutely
celebration
brilliant.
starting already. What a dominant win from Malta. The team that's twice reached the team shootout final turns up against 20 times world champion England and blows them off the table. Such enthusiasm from the Maltese team. Look how happy they are to be there. They're playing as a team, they want to be there, and they've been there. They are going through to the semi-finals. 8-2 over England. We'll take a quick break, back with more after this.